transitions, light under control.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was the chief guest at the annual 2019 Cinnamon Hotels Future of Tourism Summit held in Colombo today. The highlight of the summit was a discussion between the Prime Minister and CNN's international business correspondent Richard Quest, host of the program Quest Means Business.
When are you going to announce your presidential candidate?
Very soon.
Very soon. You're going to tell me you can guarantee that the country is safe. How can you do that?
We were looking at terrorism in general, but I wouldn't say that we had given prior to ISIS. We are now giving to the extreme elements, but there are others also who are on the border lines as far as preaching hate is concerned.
There are numerous investigations taking place at different levels. Can you guarantee that the full story will be made public?
Certainly, the Parliamentary Select Committee report will be made public, and now there's also a request by His Eminence the Cardinal for the appointment of a commission. And certainly, I wouldn't mind another inquiry.
You set the parameters, but the private sector has to deliver the product. So what do you view as your role?
We've got to set the parameters. Should it be 5 million in 2 years, or should we plan longer for the infrastructure, build up the experience? Then thereafter, the trade must take over. What's happened in Sri Lanka, unfortunately, is at the very inception in the late 60s, government played a leading role. Many people still expect the government to play the leading role.
So you think, to some extent, government has been seen as it's responsible for all?
Yeah, the government also must get out of it and not try to regulate too much.
I suggest that government wants it both ways. What you say is, we can no longer do this. It has to be the private sector. But the private sector is shackled with one hand tied behind its back and a patch over one eye because government still interferes.
No, we have to take this off, and we have to have a single window for investments. Clearances must come in quickly. So there are things that government has been moving on, but I do agree that there are issues that the government must get out of. There were too much of restrictions in the building areas. We must have a quick policy, say these areas are for low-rise, these are for high-rise hotels. Second is the problem they are having with local authorities.
One of the issues people tell me about is the need for a national campaign post the attacks, and it's seemingly taking a long time for the government to approve this.
It has taken some time. I've been doing some of the pushing. I think the Treasury has agreed. We've got to move the other agencies along. It has taken a long time, too long, I would say.
Prime Minister, does Sri Lanka need a national airline?
We need a national airline, but we've got to, it doesn't mean the national airline has to be government-owned. I think we should have a private management of the national airlines. National airline must focus on a few routes and allow the rest to be brought in.
Are you sure you won't tell me who the presidential candidate will be?
You know, Richard, I'm a bit frightened because every politician wants a top job and all of them have got frightened and they say, oh, all 225 must be thrown out.
Maxis, #1 tie in Sri Lanka.